Hello everybody and welcome to the Premier League Nightclub podcast, brought to you by Arrow Sport, the number one kit maker in the business, arrowsport.com.au. Go check them out or hit them up on Twitter at ArrowSport. Woody, it has been an absolute nightmare of an afternoon to say the least.
Yep. It has been, Damo. It's our third shot trying to get video going.
Yeah, for those listening, they're probably just like, what are these clans laughing about? But for those watching, might have a little bit of an understanding. We're outside.
Yep.
It's a Tuesday.
Yep.
Everything's different today, and we haven't adapted as well as we thought we would.
We haven't. And Damo, we're celebrating with a couple of beers because we finally got the video working.
Well, we needed these to get through what we've been doing for the last few hours. Like, I couldn't do the waters anymore.
Oh, gee whiz. Oh, just absolute strife. I think we both knew it was going to be hard.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect this hard.
Well, the thing is, for those, to put a bit of context, I don't know how much people actually care, but we'll go through it anyway. We purchased a camera, which had been, long time waiting, not for it to come, but just to pick one and the whole process and whatnot. And it's eventually come, and like we prepared as well as we thought. And on the day, it has just absolutely let us down. Little technical things we just couldn't get right. So we've ended up using a phone, the best phone we have between us. And hopefully, if you are watching this, it means it's come out well. If you're listening to it on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you listen, and then you think, oh, the boys are on YouTube now, I'll go give them a look, and there's no video uploaded, it means this didn't eventuate and we've only posted the audio. Is that a fair thing to say?
It's exactly what's going to happen. I will say. But Damo, this is our first pod in 3 weeks. Like you said, a lot of things have changed. This is probably a new area for the nightclub. We haven't really missed a fortnight.
Yeah, and literally a new area.
It's physical space.
Yes.
But like you said, video is finally here. Hopefully this gets out. But this is probably a bit of a dawn of a new era because we've got the TikTok going, we've got the Reels going. The YouTube's obviously this is gonna be posted on YouTube.
Hopefully.
New era.
Very much so, and I feel like it's a different. We're learning it. It's almost like we're starting podcasting again because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't recommend to anybody to go listen back to episode 1 to say 10 or maybe 1 to 8 before we had Tommy Morris, which really kickstarted the nightclub era. But those few episodes are hard to listen to, and I feel like we've right now, for example, Woody, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to look at the camera. I don't know whether to look at you. It's almost like having Sam back and having that trio dynamic, which we haven't had, well, even when he was around. We didn't really have that dynamic anyway. But to be fair, it's all...
Shout out, Sammy, you made the pod.
to be fair, though, even with the TikToks and, go check us out on TikTok, by the way. We'll plug that now, Woody, because the outro's going to be too long if we don't. At Premier League Nightclub, same as the Instagram. Go check us out. We've got 2 little clips up already, which are fantastic. Wood has been all over them. We will be posting some more social media stuff on Instagram, so you can find us more easily on YouTube, etc. But yeah, it almost feels like I'm learning new skills today, which we should be excited about, but also apologise for in advance, just in case, our camera, we're not working the camera as well as we should be. I've just knocked the mic as I've said that, so if there's a sound for those listening,
shut up, mate.
You'll understand.
Okay. You're blabbering too much. All right. Errol Golden last episode.
Yep.
Probably better than what we thought it was going to go. I think.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the biggest name, but I would say he had the biggest. Well, he could have the biggest impact on the night.
Yeah, I reckon we had the best connection with him.
Yeah.
Similar age, give or take half a decade. Scary when you think of it like that. Give or take half a decade. But he said to us that when Barry O'Connor and himself both debut, they'll both come back on the podcast, which is pretty elite. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Sydney Swans nightclub relationship, romance, connection pans out in the next year.
It'd be incredible if, say, in a couple of months' time, we were playing pro clubs with the Sydney boys and we were able to put it on YouTube and get a little bit of convo going.
Exactly.
Ask them into the inside of what it's like inside the Sydney Swans environment. But Woody, I can't help but notice that you keep giving me the eyes about something, and
hurry up, mate.
Yeah, and I mentioned TikTok, and make sure to go check that out. But something that really the fans loved.
Yep.
And you surprised me with it because you didn't even tell me you were doing it. You just sort of dropped it on me.
I don't know. What are you on about?
What's to your right, mate? What's right here? That you brought a little table prop for us, and you wanted to show people.
I'll show everyone your glasses. Here we go. Ashley Barnes.
So for those watching, as you can see, this dickhead here has spent an afternoon making these glasses, which is a unique thing to do. For those listening, go check it out on TikTok or on the YouTube. You'll be able to see it. He's wearing glasses. How would you describe it, Woody? Ashley Barnes' celebration?
Ashley Barnes. I call him the Ashley Barnes 1-0.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Did you actually wear them when you watched the Man City game a couple of days ago? Or?
Nah, because I can't see. To be honest, I made these myself, and they got a pretty good reception on the TikTok.
Yeah, they did.
The first TikTok that ever went out. I reckon this could be the start of a merch line for the nightclub as well.
Yeah, think about how many celebrations there are with like hands and arms. You could definitely do something with it. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Like you did the Deli Alley.
Yeah.
Deli Alley challenges.
Yeah, 100%. You could do that, and there's a few other things I'm sure that I can't think of at the moment. But yeah, definitely there. Can we start talking about some Premier League now?
Please.
You got to take the glasses off for me
to
talk about the Premier League because I can't take you seriously.
They'll make an appearance from the rest of the pod. Don't worry.
As we know, the games have been coming thick and fast, and we usually say that quite often, but this has been insane. Like, there's been one day off of the Premier League, absolute max, but now we've got a few FA Cup games coming up, so we've had a chance to do the podcast today on a Tuesday. Few big results, none probably bigger than the Manchester City versus Liverpool game at Anfield just a couple of nights ago.
What a nightmare.
Yeah,
what a mare.
I think you're going to go into this a little bit later, Woody, but it was the result that even though, rival fans do quite enjoy seeing Liverpool suffer like this, I think a few people wanted Liverpool to win that one to keep the league interesting. And I know
to keep it balanced. I think the top four is already imbalanced as is. Now more so than ever, which I'll hop into my winners and losers, hint, hint. But, mate, Alisson, what was he doing? Channeling in a Karius?
Yeah.
Just nightmare. If I've ever seen one.
He did have cold feet, though, to be fair to Alisson.
Shut up. Yeah, just like Karius had concussion during the Champions League final. Gee whiz.
It's a unique thing, and I think we spoke about when it was just you and me last time, Woody, about how managers are starting to get really tense because this season was the first season in a while where everyone felt they were involved and could have a massive impact on what the table would look like at the end of the season, and so managers were starting to get a little bit grumpy, and I think Klopp probably has gone to a new level since last time we spoke. Others have calmed down a little bit, and that has something to do with teams not performing as well, or teams doing even better than what they were. But yeah, I think Klopp got asked after the game about the title race, and he just lost it with the reporter, basically saying, like, can you stop talking about the title race? We're like 13 points behind City. It's like, well, you're not. You're like 10.
Yeah.
And let's just, it's not an unreasonable question. They're champions. I felt sorry for the reporter, to say the least.
Lead up to the game, Klopp said something, and then Pep said, well, I didn't think Jurgen was that type of manager. Yeah,
it was basically putting all the pressure on the City and saying that, saying an excuse and saying other things as well. And I think Pep didn't really like that because I think he actually respects Klopp. They have a little bit of beef because they've been rivals for so long, in the last 2-3 years, because they've been the best two teams in it. But I think there's a mutual respect that maybe Pep lost a little bit over the
Do you reckon it's a sign of frustration from Jurgen?
Absolutely. He's never really been a fantastic loser. It is a little bit of a myth that Jurgen Klopp is this all-round perfect bloke. And I feel like it's a bit stiff for us here to sit here and say, gee, Jurgen Klopp's been acting like a bit of a dickhead the last few weeks. He's going through a bit of a tough patch. Fair enough, he can be a bit grumpy. But, yeah, I just feel like everyone's quick to praise him for how much of an awesome guy he is when Liverpool, almost hit 100 points in a season. But to be fair, you need to rein it in both ways. You can't be this perfect person and then terrible person. How about he's just a good manager who's having a tough period? Is that fair enough to say?
I think the expectations I think they're starting to get to him.
Yeah.
They're starting to get to him because realistically in the lead up to last year, I think they were, didn't have as much pressure on them because everyone knew they were shit. They weren't expected to be good.
Are you talking about Liverpool here?
I'm talking about Liverpool.
And then 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, before the Champions League final. But I'm talking in the league.
Yeah.
Even 2 seasons in the league, they should have won. They still should have won. However, I think now where the pressure is on them to be at the top of the league in the Champions League final, and they're not getting there, that's why he's starting to get snappy because everyone's saying, well, why aren't they there? Nothing's changed. Why aren't they there?
Could it also be a case of maybe everyone expected them to be good now and not... They sort of became really good maybe a year or two before everyone expected. So now they sort of... People just expected it to continue into their so-called prime, and it's not happening.
Yeah, it's exactly that. They expect an era to start where realistically it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's not like it's been... Oh, they had one good season. They had 90-something points in the year they didn't win the league. So they've been a fantastic team for quite some time now. And every title-winning team goes to a bad patch. It's just how they adapt. They've probably lost a few more games than they would have liked. But who knows? Maybe we sit here in a month's time and say, gee, Liverpool have smashed in 20 goals and conceded 2 in the last 4 games. So that's sort of what happens here at the nightclub. It can change very quickly. But one more thing we need to talk about before we get stuck into winners and losers is just a few other big results and big things for the table. And obviously Man United equaling the record for the biggest Premier League win, 9-0.
Against the same team?
Against this, the
same team that the record was held against?
That copped it last season. So Southampton, I think we've been praising the Saints a lot this season, and rightly so, but I think injuries have caught up to them a little bit. Obviously, they've had a few COVID cases, to be honest. They're probably one of the teams that have had the most without being given the game off. So, obviously, like Villa, Newcastle, teams like that, and even I think it might have been Manchester City had a week off.
And they've still got the game in hand.
Yeah, they got the game in hand, but maybe McCarthy or Danny Ings should have spread COVID to one or two more players. So then they
can't say that.
No, I'm just saying they would have had an extra week off, and maybe they would have been better off. But that's all I'm saying. And they probably the 9-0 was. It was, I want to say it wasn't a fair reflection, but towards the end it definitely was. It became a bit of a training drill.
It was pretty grim. I'll tell you, looking at the table right now, which I've got up on my computer, I think even the top 4 are within, Chelsea are there, West Ham are there, Everton, they're 2 games out, but they're on 37. If they win both of their games in hand, they're going to jump to 4th.
Yeah, even Aston Villa are as well, 21.
Exactly.
Played, I think it is. So
yeah.
Everyone's a sneaky chance to pushing for those European spots, which is good to see, but it makes the league super interesting. Anyone can beat anyone.
I know we're about to jump into winners and losers, but I praised Southampton. And our last winners and losers. They've gone on to lose 5 in a row.
I'm telling you, it's the Woodrow curse. It's definitely a thing.
No,
it works the other way around as well.
You know what? I did say, talking about successes on winners and losers, I go back and listen to this, please. We're going to have to sort this out somehow. I went and remember I slagged Arsenal. I said in my loser that they had a tough run.
They hit form, but it was
temporary. They've got 1 point from their last 3 games.
So you're saying, well, who have they got up next?
The Woodrow. They haven't got me next.
They haven't got you next.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I think they've got a tough run coming up. So they've got Leeds, City, Leicester, Burnley, Tottenham, 5 of which are above them.
Even West Ham.
And then Liverpool after that.
It is a tough run.
It's a tough run. The only one you'd back in is probably Southampton at the moment.
Yeah. So, Woody, we don't usually talk about specific teams in the intro, but I feel like this week it was nice for a little change. Go with the theme of the episode. Yep. Everything's changing.
Change everything up.
But I think now it is time to get stuck into some real dissection of 3 or 4 teams. Something's fallen in the background there, but don't worry about that because it is time for winners and losers. Oi, did someone say winners and losers?
Sure did, mate.
What we're going to do here is you're going to kick us off with your winner because you did yours literally just before we started recording. I did mine yesterday almost, so I feel like yours are fresher. You go first.
Sure. All right. So, I mean, weird setup. That's all right. Changing everything up. All right. So for me, my winner this week, I have to go for the Blades. Now, it might sound strange why you're putting the bottom team of the ladder as your loser, but listen to me.
You mean your winner?
As my winner, sorry, pardon me, but the Blades, I've missed you. It was a love affair last year.
It was good.
It was amazing. My then girlfriend got really pissed off at me because all I was thinking about was the Blades and Billy Sharp and Chris Wilder and David McGoldrick. That's all I was thinking about realistically. And I think after going winless for the first 17 rounds of the season, Billy Sharp gave them their first +3 points on the table with that penalty against Newcastle after they received the red.
Yep.
back in match week 18, they have 3 wins in their last 6 games. That might sound pretty crap compared to their form last season, but considering they had 3 points from 17 rounds in the first 17, that's pretty bloody good. To have 9 points in their last 6.
Could you go as far to say that they may be kicking themselves come season's end about the start they had? Because many did say that they weren't as bad as the table suggested.
Well, it's true. They definitely aren't. I think their biggest downfall is kicking goals.
Yeah.
The amount of games they've lost 1-0 is ridiculous. I haven't counted them out, but mate, if they could kick goals, if they could finish their chances like they did last season, then they'd be there. Mm-hmm. They'd be mid-table at least. They picked up, like I just said, 3 wins in the last 6 games. They pick a win against Man United, the boys, and West Brom. Still dead last, but they're 4 points off Fulham, who have 15. So that means Sheffield. The Blades are on 9. Mm-hmm. Sorry, 11. Pardon me. They're actually 11 points off Burnley, who are in 16th. Now, I'm not saying Sheffield are the ones that are going to go and get, maybe...
Because it'd be incredible. It'd be incredible.
I'm not saying they're going to stay out of relegation, that they won't get relegated. Mm-hmm. But, geez, by this point of the season, you've got to put some respect on your name, considering where they were last season. They were competing for top 4 for the best part of 3 quarters of the season last year.
Yeah, that's true.
And now they're dead last. I mean, they're my winner because I've seen them put respect on their name a little bit more. A little bit more respect for Chris Wilder. Obviously, he's staying. A little bit more respect for Billy Sharp. Obviously, he's still there. And we know that Chris Wilder is staying for the remainder of the season. The board back him to the hills. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. And so, Billy Sharp looks like a man reborn. And it could be sort of a stretch of the second half of the season. Could be the greatest relegation scrap in history if they do survive.
It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, seriously, if they do survive... Premier League Nightclub Media, we're making a movie about that. Yeah. we're going into production. The only problem is that they haven't got very many easy games left. I think the only team they play again that they played in the first half is Newcastle, and even that game was delayed. That was a reschedule. I think they don't play a single game. They don't play a single team below them for the remainder of the season.
And on that note, I'm going to say my winner. All right.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Next up, for me, the winners have to be West Ham United. And to be honest, Woody, we usually pride ourselves on talking about teams that are doing well for their standards. We've done that pretty much since the day we started this podcast. But West Ham United probably haven't been given the respect on Nightclub FC that they deserve. And so there's a few awesome stories that come from West Ham so far this season. Firstly, you'd have to say the main one is David Moyes. And, I say the name and I can see you already half holding back a smile or a chuckle. And that's because it's taken almost a decade for David Moyes to regain some sort of reputation. Of course, he had an incredibly tough gig at Man United and failed ultimately after about 8 months. And then from there he went to Real Sociedad, where they trained des 3 times per week. And they also he also had a failed spell at West Ham before he went back, and a failed spell at Sunderland where they ultimately got relegated. So he hasn't had a good time, old mate Moisey, since his departure from Everton, where he was really well respected. And I think recently people have been putting him in the same category as your Steve Bruce's, that's
a bit unfair.
Alan Pardew's.
Everton came 5th with Moyes at home.
I agree, and it is very harsh, but at the end of the day, the reality is it was 15 years ago. All I'm saying is, it's almost like he was brought in at Sunderland, brought in at West Ham, especially at West Ham to keep them up. I feel like that's a bit harsh on him. It's almost like putting him in the category of Big Sam. It gets to that point. And I feel like it's incredibly harsh, and he's got West Ham now playing some really good football with, ironically, probably not the biggest names that they thought they had.
I think getting rid of Sebastian Haller
is a
ballsy move.
Considering they've only got one other striker who I'm about to mention in a second. But yeah, there is a reference to that. So basically, a few other awesome stories. Creswell's form is actually been really, really good. We always knew he was a good free kick taker, ultimate set piece beast. But you'd have to say he wasn't at the level of, say, your other left-backs in the league, even like your Ben Chilwells, these sort of guys.
Yeah.
But this season, I think he's really stood up and really become a solid leader in that lineup as well. Always match fit, ready to go. And his assist numbers are through the roof as well, so that's awesome for him. Jaylings on debut last week scored 2 out of nowhere. Yeah, we'll get that going.
Another glasses.
Yeah, there you go.
Jaylings glasses.
Yeah. Knowing him, we'll probably message you about it. Try and get some sort of merchandise going. Yeah,
seriously.
But Jaylings 2 on debut, and that's the sort of stuff that, like, credit to Jaylings, don't get me wrong, that's awesome. But you sort of feel like that sort of stuff. Like, how many times, for example, does a club who's got nothing to play for on, say, the final day of the season, who are up against a weaker team, and it might be a bit of a party atmosphere in the stadium because they know, there's nothing to play for, let's just enjoy the game. How often does a debutant like score a goal or something? And I feel like it had that sort of feel to the West Ham game because West Ham are enjoying the way they're playing at the moment.
And you can see it.
Yeah, and see Jesse Lingard comes, and obviously he's a unique character, and he adds to that a little bit. Also, I want to talk about the backstroke Antonio.
Okay.
He's come in, he's missed literally 80% of the season so far, and West Ham are like 6th. I think that's unbelievable. They've already got 11 wins. They got 10 all of last season. And again, this is without Antonio. If Antonio can stay fit, which he almost has to now that they've got rid of Haller, who knows what West Ham are capable of? They've got the players. Bowen's playing well. Lanzini comes off the bench and does stuff. I've been rambling on a little bit, but it does show that I'm incredibly surprised with what West Ham have done this season. They've been very, very good. So, yeah, that's my story of the season.
Souček red card?
We'll get on to that. And I also did forget to mention Souček, but I know for a fact there's a reason to bring him up a little bit later on. So I will get into him next up. But, Woody, for now, who is your loser?
I think I should go losers. I should be the second loser on this one. So if you want to take away with your loser,
that's cool.
Go for it.
My loser is a team that we spoke about quite a lot earlier in the season, but it's dried up a little bit. And I think, Woody, I'm going to ask you a question.
Hit me.
Which player in the league is most important to their team? And I mean that by, if they're not playing, what does it do to who has the biggest impact on the team negatively when they're not playing? Who is it?
It's pretty obvious though. I think personally, taking into a bit of FPL as well, because FPL is a big indicator. It has to be Harry Kane at Tottenham, because without Kane, Son does nothing.
That's true.
But without Son, Kane pretty much does everything. That's
true. Well, basically, they are my losers, Tottenham. The only other answer that could have been was Zaha at Crystal Palace, because they've been poor the last 2 weeks.
Maybe Fernandes at United.
Maybe. Although
there are replacements.
There are some other players in that squad, but I feel like Tottenham's form when Harry Kane wasn't playing,
Vardy to Leicester,
was abysmal. No, I disagree with that. I think Leicester are good without Vardy as well. So basically, we spoke about. Remember when I did the Harry Kane impression on the pod a couple of months ago?
Can you use another one?
No, absolutely not. I don't do it on request. You know that. So since they beat Arsenal 2-0 in that derby, and everyone started talking about how can Spurs win the league. Since then, Woody, can you pull yourself together? I'm trying to drop some absolute facts on you at the moment.
Just hear me.
Since they beat Arsenal 2 months ago, draw, loss, draw, win, loss, win. Those 3 losses in a row towards the end were all without Harry Kane. They did lose to Liverpool twice in that run. So, although I will say, I was about to say that's somewhat fair enough, although in the last 4 games, Tottenham are the only team to have lost to Liverpool. So it does give you a reflection of how bad their form is. This EFL Cup coming up in a few months, I know it's been delayed to see if fans can get in. It's just become so important for Spurs now, because you'd have to say, Mourinho's been there for about a year and a bit now. You have to ask the question, if they were to lose that EFL Cup, sit, say, 6th in a couple of months, where have Spurs gone in the last year and a bit? And I know we're being so dramatic after praising them so much just 2 months ago, but it does start to become a concern where, again, they find themselves in a position where they're chasing the top 4.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for some time now, since probably Poch had that really good year maybe 4 years ago. So I just worry about Spurs, and they're my loser because I feel like they're stuck and they're not making any progress again. Woody, who is your loser?
My loser is the EPL fans, globally. All right, and the reason I think it's pretty obvious why, but the title race is almost done, and that's why EPL fans are my loser, because realistically, for City to lose the race right now, it would probably be one of the worst bottles that I've seen, that probably we've seen. I mean, maybe not necessarily, but the way they're playing and who they've got fit, the teams they've got coming up, I can't see them dropping that many more points. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of people circled their 3 games, including the Liverpool one. They have Spurs next week.
Yep.
And then Arsenal after that.
I think Leicester in a few weeks as well. But
and you just feel like they were like, all right, if they're going to drop points, it's going to be there. But they've just beat Liverpool 4-1 at Anfield. It's like, if you're doing that, what are they going to do to Spurs at home?
Yeah, seriously. And they're proving that no matter who they play right now, they are going to put in a flawless game.
Yeah.
Like,
defensively, they're class as well.
It's ridiculous. They've scored 18 goals in their last 6 games. That's an aggregate of 3 goals a game. Like, they're absolutely demolishing defenses. This is like City circa 2018-esque. 100 point.
Who saw this coming as well? Because
they came out of
poor 2
nowhere.
months ago.
I reckon it's because Liverpool, United, and Leicester have actually dropped so many points to bad teams. Not bad teams, but teams they shouldn't be losing points to. Mm-hmm. That's honestly where I think this has come from. Because it got ruled out so quickly, very quickly, that a team could not reach 100 points for the season. Yeah. Yet City are already almost 9 points. Or what are they? It'll be 8 points clear if they win the next game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, 8 points clear if they win the next game. There's still 2 months left in the season.
You know, you could also have made your loser this podcast, because we had to do how many episodes last year? About 25, knowing Liverpool were going to win the league.
Yeah.
We're going to have to spend pretty much... If we come back next pod and City still haven't lost, I think we're in the same boat again.
It's gonna be a month's time, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how that's gonna go. But title race is over. Lock it in. See you later. I know I dropped them a fat stat. You know, at the end of game week 17, the winner is the winner for 90% of the last 10 seasons.
Could be that 10% anomaly today.
Yeah, 10% anomaly. So anomaly.
Yeah.
Like Finding Nemo. You know what they say?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I got it. I picked it up. I picked it up.
I think that pretty much wraps up winners and losers.
Yeah,
we dragged on a fair bit, I reckon.
We tend to be pretty good at that.
Speciality at the nightclub. Damo, we sort of put out our questions for the podcast, for the social media source segment, a little bit late.
Yeah, this whole last few days has been hectic for us. So.
Been a bit of last week or so, logistically, has just not worked at all for either of us.
No.
Not one bit. Several things going on, but even still, just very hard to sort of coordinate the pod.
Yep.
The way the EPL, the fixture worked out, everything sort of took a bit of a backwards turn. But however, we did get a couple. Mm-hmm. We've picked the best 3.
Yep.
Because, get a lot of jargon on the social media. There's a few characters out there. They'd love to put in a bit of a little try and.
Yeah, so a few of you people out there need to take a good hard look at yourselves and some of the questions you're sending in.
Tone it down.
Yeah. Nevertheless, let's get stuck into some social media sauce.
All right, to kick it off, at Anthony.Horton96, regular contributor to the pod, this guy, Damo, mind you. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Mike Dean?
I like this question. I liked it a lot. When I saw it, I was very excited. And I had already written my bit in my winner about Thomas Souček. So then when I saw this question, I was like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. So what I did was, you've lost yourself, Woody. Sorry. So what I did was, I've pretty much transferred...
Can you just let me know before you try and be funny?
All right.
Is it all right?
I will. I've transferred what I was going to write there into answering this question. There's a few little elements to this story that have developed over the last, 12, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mike Dean's reputation for giving red cards has gone to a new level, to say the least.
Yep.
I'm not sure how many it is specifically, but I'm pretty sure he's given 2 in the last 2 games that he's reffed. It's getting a little bit out of hand, especially because of the VAR and how there's just so much opportunity for referees to not give it.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a little bit of common sense. I'm not sure anybody watching the game, that West Ham Fulham game, would think it was a red card. I just don't understand how it can go through Mike Dean and the VAR and everybody be like, yeah, fair enough, red card. It doesn't sit well in my brain. I don't understand how that's possible. But there is one sort of other element to it, and that's the recent... I don't know if you saw this, Woody, but Mike Dean's actually been getting death threats on social media the last 12 hours.
Probably
Don't say it. Don't say it. No, don't say it. No, you're not allowed to say that. We might get kicked off YouTube after one episode. So the thing is as well, yeah, Thomas Souček put out on Twitter a couple of hours ago only saying, like what happened, what decisions are made on the field should stay there. I wish Mike Dean nothing but the best for him and his family. I wish these death threats would never happen and stuff, which is awesome from Souček. It's good to see. But it is becoming more and more of a thing on social media. And I feel like because I wouldn't say it necessarily is happening more now than it did, say, a year ago, but I think people are becoming more confident in calling it out, which is great. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's a recent trend. I think it's always been the case. Yeah. So, that's another element to it. So, Mike Dean, I don't think he's refereeing this weekend because of it. So, are you going to answer the question, thoughts on Mike Dean? Well, I'm getting there. I just wanted to give a bit of backstory. Would you not find what I was saying interesting? Yeah, I was enjoying it, but I think he's a good referee. I think he's a good referee. I think he's a good referee who just enjoys the power a tad much. You know what? I just don't think he likes to take shit. He likes a clean game. He wants an easy game. And that's Mike Dean in a nutshell. He also quite I'm pretty sure doesn't like West Ham, I think. And the only reason I say that is because have you seen the video of a team scoring late against West Ham? Can't remember who it is. I'll chuck it up on YouTube if I'm allowed to, right, like here. But just there. Basically, what happens is, I'm explaining it, but it could be to my right now. The team score, and then you know how the referee goes like points back to the spot when it's a goal. So the ball goes in, and then Mike Dean's running to catch up with the play, and then the ball goes in, and you can see he puts his whistle in his mouth, and he turns around, and he's celebrating with the players as they're running around. Yeah, it's quite actually grim for the integrity of the Premier League, but it is a great video, and hopefully you were just watching it then. 3 words, Mike Dean. 3 words to describe Mike Dean right now. Character. Yep. Bald. And quality. I was gonna use the other culprit. Okay, go. You got another 2 words to go. Oh, was that? Is that? Okay, sorry. I thought that's what you were gonna say. Well, were you giving me 3 words or not? No, I asked you. Yeah, now you give me 3. Just quickly go if it's that easy. Bald. Yep. Stern. Yep. Actually, can I change one of mine to eyes? His eyes are nuts. She just gives you crazy eyes big time. You can take that one if you want. 3 words. Stiff upper lip. That's bang. That's my one. All right. Next one. At Chris Titaz _ Bamford's top 5 goals of the season. We discussed this off air, Woody. We're not going to sit here and discuss Patrick Bamford's best 5 goals of the season, but what we did agree on is that we'd probably get banned from YouTube if we show the highlights. But we would just say which one we liked. Yep. You go first. All right. I think it was his 3rd goal against Aston Villa, the hat trick. Mm-hmm. The hat trick he scored this season. Also Villa defenders. Yeah. So I think he received the ball from Rafinha or Click. Might have been one of them. Click maybe. Who's the guy with the? Is it Gomez? No. Wouldn't have been. No. Who's Pablo Hernandez? Maybe the guy with the dreadlocks. Anyway, received the ball, top of the box, and then he sort of shimmies like this. But in reality, he does nothing. Yeah, he just stands there and puts his foot on the ball, and then 3 guys surround him, and then another one comes from behind, and then he somehow wraps his left foot around it, and then it goes past Martinez. I don't know how he scored that. Don't know how he found the space. He's a big man. There's 4 people around him. That was personally my favourite goal. When I saw it, I was like, this kid's a jet. Yeah. What about yourself? See, I would have said that, but I had him on my bench that week in Fantasy Premier League, and that was when he scored a hat-trick. So I'm still salty about it. So the one I want to do is where Bamford actually won me my FPL matchup. It was a quality pass by Rafinha, I'm pretty sure. And Patrick Bamford against Leicester just a week ago when he smashed it into the top right-hand corner. Just unbelievable finish. It almost looked like he took too long to get it under his feet for a little bit because he doesn't actually take a touch. He just lets it roll, and sometimes that can be the easy option, which actually costs a lot of strikers because the ball goes... Is that when he sort of went over the keeper? Over Schmeichel, and I just thought it was awesome because he hit the top right-hand corner perfectly. Can I just quickly say, the Leeds United commentary team that they post obviously on their social media. They love a goal, especially a Patrick Bamford goal. It's just like, Patrick Bamford! It's nuts. It's compared to other teams who sort of keep it low key.
Can you give us that again?
No, not again. I don't do things on request. You know this, Woody. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to the Leeds United commentary team. I reckon they're beast. Yeah. All right. Last one.
Last question. At Imi_Lesun.
Mm-hmm.
Leeson.
Lezen. Is that Lezen? Anyway, go on.
Anyway. Is it Imi or Imai? I don't know. At Imai Lezen. I'll roll with it, alright? Will Griezmann ever come to England? He has 7 goals and 6 assists in 2021 already. Alright, Imai. Clearly you have no idea what this podcast is about. You have no idea. We're a Premier League podcast, not French or La Liga. Go listen to the podcast. It's in the name, Premier League Nightclub. Damo.
Do you think he'll come to England ever?
God, no.
No, he's not going to.
I think the closest he ever came was when he was linked with United and the deal came through because Barca swept in.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He'll stay there for a while now. So, yeah.
Nice try, Imai. Maybe next time.
Done. And who is winning our $30 voucher, Woody, thanks to Arrow Sport? Who was the best? I know who I think's the best. And do you want to say it at the same time? 3, 2, 1?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Anthony Horton.96.
Yeah, sweet. Cool.
Anthony, got yourself a $30 voucher, mate. Get around it.
Arrow Sport will be in touch. I think they'll be in touch with Anthony. Probably either or. So
big bad Andrew Benuza. He'll
hit you up. He'll hit you up. So enjoy that, Anthony. And next up,
favorite segment of the podcast.
This is the first time we've done. Should I look down the barrel of the camera when I'm doing it? Just make it really.
Should we change the camera view so it's just straight on your face?
No, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Not a chance. No. Look at my head, mate. People don't want to see this full on for too long. So let's just keep it simple and we'll get stuck straight into Damo's dollars. We'll be back when Woody sorts himself out.
Show me the money.
Alright, so Damo's dollars. The thing is that it got a little bit of a hiccup last time round, Woodra, and this isn't because I did get it wrong. I did get the Sheffield United versus Newcastle game wrong. That was very much so. But the thing I was really frustrated about, other than Newcastle being shit, was that I put Tottenham and Aston Villa to draw or Tottenham to win. And that was a good bet, I felt. And that game ended up being postponed due to COVID. And so Fulham played Tottenham instead, and it was a draw. And so in my mind, I feel like, that Tottenham mentality would have come out in the Villa game as well. So I'm claiming that as a 3 out of 4 instead of a 2 out of 4. So in that case, because of that, I'm claiming that Damo's dollars and the cult following that it has is in form.
Okay.
So with that
Strange
being said, Brighton versus Aston Villa.
Yep.
At $3.25 for the draw is fantastic value. And I can't help but let you all know that this is about the 4th or 5th game in the round. And I've done that so we don't lose straight away. So that we can enjoy some football knowing our multi's still alive. So the draw at $3.25 between Villa and Brighton. It's actually a really interesting matchup. Villa clearly having a great season, as we've discussed a lot on this pod. But Brighton have actually hit some serious form. And we're unlucky not to be in our winner for either of us in winners and losers. So we probably need to start giving them some respect, and that's why I've got a draw. And also, last time these two played, Brighton won 2-1, and that was sort of against the run of the flow at that time because Villa were flying and Brighton were struggling. So I don't know whether tactically Brighton match up well against them, but all I know is that people shouldn't be counting Brighton out at all, and I'm sure they aren't because of what they've been able to achieve by beating Tottenham and Liverpool in the last week. But I do feel that this one's going to be tight, and $3.25 for a draw is where we've had to find the value. And we've had to take a little bit of a risk here, but I feel like $3.25, it's fair enough. Next up.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, West Brom versus Man United. And I've got a Man United win at $1.25.
Value.
Taking you to Value Town here, boys, because Man United's away form, it's just, you can't ignore it. It seems they beat everybody away from home, and West Brom lose to everybody at the moment. So you can't really say no to it. And I think when you look at the other odds, Man City are actually stronger favourites at home to Tottenham than Man United are away to West Brom, which I find extraordinary, to be honest. Look, I know that Man City are an unbelievable team and Man United can have an off day, but this is Tottenham Hotspur we're talking about. So it just goes to show how, the bookies are essentially saying West Brom are a better chance against United than Tottenham are against City, which I'm not sure I agree with. But anyway.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
All right, well, all I'm saying is, actually, to be honest, both are incredibly short odds. So $1.25 is incredibly short. But I just think you can't go past them. United won at Old Trafford last time, and if anything, they're a better team.
Yep.
They've got the rest this week with the FA Cup, and by that I mean they'll be able to rotate some players.
Fresh team.
It'll be, I think United should get the job done at $1.25. Next up, Everton versus Fulham. Everton to win at $1.72. I was surprised that these are $1.72 because I don't know if you remember last time, Woody. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 2 within the first half an hour. Everton could have won that game 15-5. That's how many chances there were. Fulham missed a penalty. Loftus-Cheek scored to make the game interesting at 3-2 with about 10-15 minutes to go. But it was Everton who came out 3-2 winners. But even then, Everton should have put that game to bed well before it got to that point. So I think $1.72 shows awesome value, if I'm being honest. And if anything, they've become defensively stronger. If you ignore the thrill at Old Trafford, they've been defensively reasonably strong. Yeah. Reasonably. And so I feel like Ancelotti's got his men back. James Rodriguez had a little bit of a knock at Old Trafford, but still scored. A few others coming back. Allen's due back sooner rather than later. Decore's in form. So I feel like Everton to win against Fulham at $1.72. Fantastic value. Next up and last.
Copper?
I feel like it's a battle of the love here, Woody, between us because it's not Man United. West Ham United versus Sheffield United.
Both our winners.
And I've got West Ham to win this at $1.61.
Bit stiff.
Jailings, baby icon Fele, and by that I mean Thomas Souček. Backstroke Antonio. I think the boys don't let the West Ham fans down here, and they don't let Damo's dollars down here. It's too much for Sheffield United to overcome. They've had a really good few weeks, as you pointed out earlier, Woody, but I just feel that West Ham at home at the Olympic Stadium, they've already beaten them at Bramall Lane earlier in the year. They get the job done again for us here and bring us home to an $11.33 multi to win us $113. I know it's not a lot, but I feel like those complaining about the amount of money in this one, look, if we had put up a multi that was $1 win, it would still be more than we've won altogether. So let's just accept what I've put on the table here. Take the winnings over the weekend. Yeah. We come back next pod. We celebrate with another beer. And imagine the scenes when I finally get a Damo's dollars off. And it's going to happen this week. I know it is.
Bang. Going through a recap. Do this every day, Damo's dollars.
Yep.
Brighton versus Aston Villa. Draw at $3.25. West Brom versus Manchester United. Manchester United win at $1.25. Everton versus Fulham. Everton win at $1.72 value. West Ham versus Sheffield United. West Ham win at $1.61. Damo, you're chucking $10 on it. At $11.33 odds, we're getting back $113.30 change.
Nice.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good stuff. Locked in, 100% correct, Woodrow. So get on it, people. Get on it.
Can't say I'm convinced.
Have you ever been convinced, though?
No.
Actually, there has been times you've been convinced, and that was
Mate, Damo Dollars is a whirlpool of emotions. It is. And it sucks me in every time.
It is. At least I'm passionate about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't take that away from me.
Exactly.
Woody, I think this wraps up our first ever YouTube episode. It has been a task and a half, to say the least.
All my days.
For all we know, this episode people might start and the sun's like rising, and by the end of this video, it's actually setting. That's how long we've been at this table.
And you can see the sun's just hitting us straight, dead set in the face, especially me. Got one face sunburn. Can I put on my glasses for this?
Yeah, all right, we'll do it for the conclusion.
Holy moly. Here we go.
Ashley Barnes.
So much better.
Ashley Barnes. If people want to hit us up on the socials, where can they find us?
All right, guys. You can find us on Insta at Premier League Nightclub. You can find us on TikTok at Premier League Nightclub, and on YouTube at Premier League Nightclub as well. Damo, where can you find us on the Twitter?
You can find us at PL Nightclub on Twitter, and make sure if you can't find the YouTube, just search Premier League Nightclub YouTube. It will be there. Hopefully, you've already found the YouTube, though, because you're watching it right here.
Hope so.
Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got to obviously now make that grow. It's a new request we're going to be putting in every bloody episode. And then, obviously, we've got Make sure you follow or sub wherever you listen to the podcast. Follow and subscribe to all the socials. And all we can ask for is that we continue to grow so we can make big moments happen like we have today. So I'm very excited. Woody, take it out. You'll be listening to us next Thursday. You'll also be watching us next Thursday. I've been waiting all episode to say that. Woody, take us out.
Ka-chow! Guys, thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Thank you very much for giving us the support. Thank you very much for booking the Premier League Nightclub this week. We'll catch you next week. We're out.
See ya.
All right, take these off. Oh my days.